वेलकम टू प्रिंस ऑर्डर हाउस स्टूडेंट्स। जैसा कि मैं अपने हर डिक्टेशन में हर वीडियो में आपको बताता हूँ कोई ना कोई ऐसी बात जो हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को मोटिवेट करती है या कैसे करना चाहिए। आज मैं बात करता हूँ कि हमारी आज एक्सरसाइज नंबर 24-25 प्रोग्रेसिव मंथली मैगजीन से मैं मैगजीन की ही बात कर रहा हूँ कि ये जो मंथली मैगजीन स्टूडेंट की प्रोवाइड होती है प्रोग्रेसिव शॉर्ट हैंड जिससे हम रिफिल करते हैं। और ये मैगजीन हमारी जो आजकल जो एडिट करते हैं सर बीपी शर्मा, और एक बहुत अच्छा इससे मतलब स्टेनोग्राफी सीखने वाले बच्चों को बहुत बेनिफिट होता है। और देश के लगभग हर स्टेट में ये मैगजीन ऑन कोरियर पहुंचती है। और हम ऐसी उम्मीद करते हैं कि भविष्य में कंटिन्यू चलती रहे जिससे बच्चे इससे लिखें और कामयाब अपने सरकारी नौकरी पाने में कामयाब हों। और हमारी आज की डिक्टेशन वही एक्सरसाइज नंबर 24-25 100 वर्ड से मिनट, बिकॉज हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल पर ये ऑलरेडी चेतन मैडम ने 80 वर्ड से मिनट दिए आपको। अब मैं दोनों इकट्ठी बोल रहा हूँ 1680 वर्ड 100 वर्ड से मिनट। बी रेडी, स्टार्ट। Sir, with regard to the family planning program of the government of India, it is true that our government and our country have been perhaps the pioneers in respect of taking advantage of the World Health Organization expertise and assistance in regard to family planning program, and that in the last several years one cannot ignore some of the good sides of the achievements of the family planning program. Sir, I would like to invite the attention of the government to two aspects of the matter. One is that after having got this experience of some years, more than a decade or two, can we not have some kind of a sustained uniform policy with regard to the various projects and programs of family planning, particularly with regard to two things? One is the assistance that we would like to rope in of the voluntary agencies, because by its very nature this is not something which is government can do. Government can spend money, government can give encouragement, but basically it is a question of educating the people, educating the illiterate and educating the people in the countryside, and also taking the maximum possible help from the voluntary social institutions in which a large number of women organizations are also doing a lot of good work. In this regard, the complaint I hear is that the policy of the government in regard to incentives offered as not quite free from faults. Even now and then, different kinds of incentives are tagged on while attracting more people. Then, those incentives are not maintained for a particular period of time, so that certain incentives are withdrawn and certain new incentives are given. The result is that the interest in the program is for the incentives offered rather than for the ultimate objective of controlled and healthy family planning. I would refer, I would therefore request the government to ensure that the family planning program has a certain sustained outlook, that the incentives are well thought out, and that there is no change every now and then in regard to this or that incentive. Then this should be free from very senior error. This is not only an error, I would like to say it is a criminal thing. In the name of operations, a large number of old people, children, and boys are also hooked into the whole thing because they get some extra financial incentive. Now I come to demand about the freedom fighters. I endorse very warmly many of the points which my honorable friend made when he talked about genuine and bogus freedom fighters. In fact, the government of India themselves in various replies in the past in this August House have told us about how many bogus cases were also found out. Here we must remember that to some extent we, the elected members of state legislature and parliament, are also responsible for giving false information or false certificates. I am not saying that this or that particular person has done it, but when the government say that in the absence of any proper proof, the certificate of a member of parliament or member of legislative assembly should be attached. Surely, the member of parliament or member of legislative assembly should be 100% sure of his facts, and he just should not do it by way of obliging any person. It is there where the bogus cases come in. I am only making an appeal through this speech of members of legislative assemblies in states, legislatures, and members of parliament here that we take extraordinary care so that we do not issue certificate liberally or irresponsibly, because otherwise it becomes more difficult for the government. The second point is that some freedom fighters are not yet included in this scheme. I do not know whether the minister has ready information at hand in this regard. There is also the project of old freedom fighters' homes. I remember there is one in Delhi, but it is neglected. Some of the old freedom fighters who are living in Delhi are staying in this house. There is no one to look after them. They are not given proper food, proper drinking water, hot water for bath, and so on. Because they are old and infirm, naturally, they need these things all the whole. Therefore, I would like government to take particular care of these old freedom fighters' homes. Lastly, although I know that the government of India have paid a lot of money to these freedom fighters, I see from letters received by me not only from Gujarat but from other parts of country as well, that the papers of freedom fighters are not disposed of, although the applications had been properly sent through the state administrations and more than 2 years have elapsed. Some of them are about 65. If they have to wait for another 1 or 2 years to get their pensions, they may not be available to take it. We are prepared to give some additional grants to them if the minister wants it that way. Stop. Next para. Exercise number 25. This court in Syed Abdul Qadir versus State of Bihar held as follows. Undoubtedly, the excess amount that has been paid to the appellant teachers was not because of any misrepresentation or fraud on their part, and the appellants also had no knowledge that the amount that was being paid to them was more than what they were entitled to. It would not be out of place to mention here that the finance department had in its counter affidavit admitted that it was a bona fide mistake on their part. The excess payment made was the result of wrong interpretation of the rule that was applicable to them, for which the appellants cannot be held responsible. Rather, the whole confusion was because of inaction, negligence and carelessness of the officials concerned of the government of Bihar. The Learned Council, appearing on behalf of the appellant teachers, submitted that a majority of the beneficiaries have either retired or are not verge of it. Keeping in view the peculiar facts and circumstances of the case at hand, and to avoid any hardship to the appellant teachers, we are of the view that no recovery of the amount that has been paid in excess to the appellant teachers should be made. Premised on the legal proposition considered above, namely whether on the touchstone of equity and arbitrariness, the extract of the judgment reproduced above culls out yet another consideration which would make the process of recovery inequitous and arbitrary. It is apparent from the conclusions drawn in Syed Abdul Qadir case that recovery of excess payments made from employees who have retired from service or are close to their retirement would entail extremely harsh consequences, overweighting the monetary gains by the employer. It cannot be forgotten that a retired employee or an employee about to retire is a class apart from those who have sufficient service to their credit before their retirement. Needless to mention that at retirement an employee is past his youth, his needs are far in excess of what they were when he was younger. Despite that, his earnings have substantially dwindled. Keeping the aforesaid circumstances in mind, we are satisfied that recovery would be iniquitous and arbitrary if it is sought to be made after the date of retirement or soon before retirement. A period within 1 year from the date of superannuation should be treated as iniquitous as such. Mr. Prem Singh, Learned Counsel for the appellant, contended that the previous scale of rupees 222,550 to which the appellant was entitled because rupees 700 to 1600, since the appellant has been granted that scale of pay in relaxation of the educational qualification. The High Court was therefore not right in dismissing the writ petition. We do not find any force in this contention. It is seen that the government, in consultation with the University Grants Commission, had revised the pay scale of a librarian working in the college to rupees 700 to 1600, but they insisted upon the minimum educational qualification of first or second class MA, MSc, MCom plus a first or second class B.Lib science or a diploma in library science. The relaxation given was only as regards obtaining first or second class in the prescribed educational qualification, but not relaxation in the educational qualification itself. Admittedly, the applicant does not possess the required educational qualifications. Under the circumstances, the applicant would not be entitled to the relaxation. The principal erred in granting him the relaxation. Since the date of relaxation, the applicant had been paid his salary on the revised scale. However, it is not an account of any misrepresentation made by the applicant that the benefit of the higher pay scale was given to him, but by wrong construction made by the principal, for which the applicant cannot be held to be at fault. Under the circumstances, the amount paid till date may not be recovered from the applicant. The principle of equal pay for equal work would not apply to the scales prescribed by the University Grants Commission. The appeal is allowed partly without any order as to costs. It would be pertinent to mention that librarians were acquitted with lecturers for the grant of the pay scale of rupees 700 to 1700. The above pay parity would extend to librarians subject to the condition that they possessed the prescribed minimum educational qualification. For those librarians appointed prior to 3rd December 1972, the educational qualifications were relaxed. In Sahib Ram Verma's case, a mistake was committed by wrongly extending to the appellants the revised pay scale by relaxing the prescribed educational qualifications, even though the concerned appellants were ineligible for the same. The concerned appellants were held not eligible for the higher scale by applying the principle of equal pay for equal work. This court, in the above circumstances, did not allow the recovery of the excess payments. This was apparently done because this court felt that the employees were entitled to wages. तो स्टूडेंट्स, हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल को आप लाइक सब्सक्राइब जरूर कीजिए और शेयर भी कीजिए। ऐसे स्टूडेंट जो अभी शॉर्ट एंड स्पीड में है या करना चाहते हैं, उनको भी हम हमारा बेसिक कोर्स ऑलरेडी इसमें पिटमैन न्यू ईरा से हम डाल चुके हैं। डिक्टेशंस बेसिक कोर्स की भी हैं और मैं चाहता हूं कि हर स्टूडेंट जो स्टेनोग्राफी जानता करता है किसी न किसी 1 2 4 5 10 बच्चों को जरूर समझाए कि स्टेनोग्राफी है क्या और सरकारी नौकरी कितनी आसानी तरीके से हम पा सकते हैं। थैंक यू।